Hello and welcome to Candle Brown, and we are doing chapter number 8. Life is a choice. What else is it, isn't it? It's one of the core living values. And when you're talking to a teenager, especially because this Candle Brown is meant at an age where they're young learners, they're very ambitious, they also might make a lot of mistakes. However, what choices you make defines you. The SDG tags that we have is goal number 4. Of course, it's quality education and continuous education. And then also 9, which refers to industry, innovation, and infrastructure, primarily because it's the choices that define what they're doing, and they're very creative and innovative in that particular aspect. Think about life as your own adventure novel. What would you like to do? What kind of decisions you shape? One of the things that my college life defined is kind of books we read. I read a lot of Sidney Sheldon, John Grisham, and those were the ideas we found. Fitzgerald, if you know who detectives are, Sherlock Holmes, perhaps. I would encourage teenagers to think of a book that they relate to. Small choices, big impact. Eventually it's those little things you do, what you post online, what kind of people you meet, what conversations you have. These choices may seemingly very, very small, but it is the cornerstone, the foundation of eventually who they become. So one of the most important thing we have to address to a teenager or a young learner is the power is yours. A lot of time they think that the remote control of their life is in someone else's hand. So what others think of you, your hairstyle is not good enough because others are validating and judging you. Absolutely incorrect way. Your presentation, the way you appear, the way you surround with people, it's a choice you're making. As you grow, they will learn. Write down the statement which says your network is your net worth, right? So it's the kind of people you associate with. If there's something very, very similar, and you ask them, when I talk to you as a teacher, take this as a case study. So look at your best friend, an adult's best friend. If the friend is unhealthy, you tend to bring unhealthiness in your life. If the person is a fitness freak, you tend to make better fitness choices. If the person is a traveler, you at least tend to know better geography. That's what a choice is. But are these choices easy? No, they come with a price. The price could be waking up early if you want to be the morning person and go to the gym. It could be leaving the sugar thing if you want to diet well. It could be pushing the mobile phone away and reading a book. So these are small choices, maybe a difficult choice, but that is what it is. I read a beautiful quote which says that the biggest, the strongest door to the gym is the front door. It's not the weights, what you lift. The biggest weight is the door to the gym. It's a door to your happiness and health. So there are no wrong paths, right? We always say that you may make a mistake, but make new mistakes, make fresh ones. A stupid person is one who makes old mistakes repeatedly. Experience is that what you learn from the mistakes you make, the friends you had, maybe they were not so cool. It's okay to choose, and that is what we call my life, my choice. Well, give them a new acronym. Usually, the acronym they write down the word YOLO and ask them. I'm sure they'll shout out, "You live only once." You only live once, which is what the acronym means. Tell them, yes, because you're living once, you make sure you make good choices, smart choices. The first activity is a simpler one, is a series of choices they've made. So ask them what kind of choices you have. Would you like to dress up or dress down? Some of them are very particular what kind of shoes matches their dresses. Some of them are not really interested. It's okay. It's a choice. For example, it is said that some of the celebrities, Steve Jobs very famously, or Mark Zuckerberg in today's time, only wear one kind of a dress. Why? Because it is one less choice to make in the series of decisions and choices in a day. Maybe that could be your style. Would you rather be the stage or in the audience? Well, you could be a participant, and both ways are participant. You could be a speaker or a listener. Are you an athlete or an artist? Well, it could be the person on the field, more athletic, or you could be more person of a doodler, a creative person. Choose that. Would you rather have dinner at home or with friends and in the family, with outside with your friends? These are simpler choices, and every choice brings you a question to ask. It's fun to do this with the kids. Students love to answer the decisions they made. You can always pause and say why. You can ask them to explain, justify. You can push them to think of a different choice. It will be a great conversational starter. My second activity, and remember, these are series of 3 activities or 3 lessons, 3 periods in a class, each of them almost coming to 40 to 45 minutes, is on decision making. Well, the role play involves peer pressure. So many times we are push to take a decision based on what our friends, our peers, our society tells us to. So you pick up a group card, write these group cards in advance, and you students make a small group, and they will try to convince that one main character. So hopefully the character will play along. So my first group card says Amy loves to play basketball. 2 days before the big game, her friends convince her to skip practice and go to a popular new movie. Well, what does Amy do? So there is a girl who's playing Amy. It could just change the gender if there are boys in your class. And does Amy play along? Why does she make whatever choices she make? Is that a healthy peer pressure or it's not a healthy peer pressure? Maybe the big game was more valuable to her and not her friends. Think about it, and it's a wonderful conversation. Keep shifting the students and see what their outcomes are. Write down, note down, and tell them you were too easy to be convinced. You were too adamant. You did not listen to the opposite view. Both ways, there are decisions to be made. My second card, the power, says Darren made plans to hang around with his best friend. Darren's other friend wanted to ditch his best friend and hang otherwise. It could also be a WhatsApp playlist. You have two groups and one group wants to talk and other doesn't want one. How do you do? Simple choices. Sometimes these choices are not easy. Yet you need to make those choices. I love the third one, which says Serena's favorite possession is an MP3 player. Of course, we are living in old age. It could be a mobile phone. It's engraved with the words, I love you. Her friends want to trade this for the latest model. Is she too nostalgic? Will she trade? What do you think about it? I always have a conclusion for this. Don't pre-conclude, but I always say, love people, not things. Unfortunately, we do the opposite. We love things, our mobile phones, our gadgets, our sneakers, and we ignore people. The closest ones being our parents or siblings or friends then. So this is a good exercise. You can add a couple of more. And the final one is 8.3, which says Me Mobile. Well, I think I love this one because it relates to the teenagers and has so many conversations going around. If you were a mobile phone, what brand would you be? Give it a name. Is it Oppo, Redmi, Apple, Samsung? What two features would you like in your mobile phone that aren't there? Can people live with a mobile phone for a week or for a day, for an hour? Give answers. Why not? You can use the space, write it down. Please make use of the textbook. Make sure you indent it, ink it, mark it, because this is how a book should look like, not fresh. What five apps, this continues with quick ones, what five apps would define be first on a mobile phone? I have a cousin, the first apps are the food app. There's Fasus, there's Zomato, there's Swiggy. I really enjoy having conversation of food around it. You could be someone whose news apps are there. Who could be someone your social media app is very, very popular. I see people who are so obsessed with last seen statuses. They actually check on last seen when you could just ignore it. You don't have to be worried about it. There are people who are more obsessed, some less. What is your relationship with your mobile phone? Add, go around with friends if you are allowed to use your mobile in the particular class or make through memory. What are your most unique apps that you can only have and others don't have? Maybe it's an investment app, maybe it's a specific news app, maybe it's a mindfulness app. What are the categories of the app that you can think of? In learning category, engagement category, interaction category, and growth category. You will be amazed with some of the answers this teenage give. I think it's so much of us learning and discovering them, and also they're sharing something that is very private to them. So have fun with this particular exercise. Good luck.